There's a new study out saying that maybe your meanest friend is actually your best friend because they're using meanness to motivate you to be a better person. This is a study out of the University of Plymouth that said people who insult their friends aren't necessarily being mean-spirited. According to the person who published the study, they said, we identified several everyday examples where this might be the case. For instance, inducing fear of failure in a loved one who's procrastinating instead of studying for an exam. These findings shed light on social dynamics, helping us to understand, for instance, why we sometimes may try to make our loved ones feel bad if we perceive this emotion to be useful to achieve a goal. What do you think about this study? Because it's a pop science study we have to discuss.
We have to discuss. I think an important clarification that they make is that it's a friend, not a bully. Because they're different things. Because I have some friends that are a little bit harder on me or that just sort of, hold me accountable in ways that can be a little hurt my feelings.
Are you mean to people to motivate them? The people you love? Do you do the tough love thing or are you supportive and enabling? Candace shaking it off.
Supportive. I'm just like, yeah, go do your thing. You're gonna do great.
Let's say your friend,
stick in there, hang in there.
Let's say your friend is late on their bills and they're gonna get evicted from their house if they don't just write a check. And they have the money. You're just like, how do you motivate that person?
I think it's important to talk about consequences. And I don't think that should be an off-limit thing with a friend. If it's someone you really care about, if you do the following thing, there will be sort of these consequences. Just be aware of them, make your own decision.
Yeah, I guess I think there's a way to do it without being like, listen, you're gonna die if you don't pay this. Like you can just be like, hey, you're being dumb.
Yeah.
You're being dumb.
That's honesty.
That's just honest. That's not mean, right?
No, that's not
you're
mean.
a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
but sorry, am I not allowed to
Yeah, you
cuss?
can do
Sorry.
it. It's fine.
Brett, have you ever been called out by a friend before? And to a degree where it was beneficial? They called you out on something that you maybe needed to be called out for?
Probably. I feel like those really close friendships, I wouldn't notice they were being mean. I'd just be like, oh yeah, you're right. That is what is gonna happen. You've been talking to me like that since I was in 8th grade. Right. In addition to all the great times we've had together. I feel like there are friends who are mean and they say it's to motivate you, but they also feel bad about themselves and they like are mean.
Yeah,
that's an important distinction.
Yeah.
I had some friends call me out like a year and a half ago about my use of social media, and it was so out of nowhere, and it was over a text message, and it hurt my feelings so much because, I mean, I could be wrong, but the people like my girlfriend and like my closest friends had never mentioned anything like that to me before. So to have two friends out of the blue group text me and they were like, "You."
What did you do that they didn't like?
They thought that I was acting differently on social media. I don't even really remember.
You're crafting an inaccurate persona.
I don't know. It made me so sad.
You remember?
And then I don't really remember like the exact because I like deleted the. I don't want to live with that. I didn't like frame it on my wall. But I remember
get rid of it.
Yeah, but it was the sort of thing where had it been from the right persons. Like had it been from a friend or like my girlfriend or someone that had really like known me for a long time that was like, I know you, this isn't you, I'm lovingly calling you out in person, like let's go to lunch or something, but because it wasn't that, I wasn't receptive to it at all. So even if that is what they were saying is true and I am and was a huge asshole on social media, I wasn't receptive to it. So I think that an important component to this study is making sure if you are the mean friend, like know your place in that person's life because you could say something really valid and they'll never receive it if you're just like, I don't know you, Brian, like get out of
Shelby.
Here. Also doing it over text is like, get out of here, like stop. Talk to me in person if you're my friend.
Right, make them feel bad to motivate them not to send shitty texts like that.
I don't deal with people's crap.
You don't? How do you deal with it? What do you do when people try to?
No, I just don't like that dumb stuff, playing games like, oh, you're being a jerk over text. It's like, talk to me like a normal person if you're my friend.
Right,
it's
weird. So this study, what they did is, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. And action.
In this study, what they did is they had like they used people playing video games. And they had like one video game was like running away from zombies, and the other video game was like just confronting things and shooting them. And then they said like, come up with these 5 different ways to communicate with folks. And then the people who were doing like the angry game used anger to motivate the people. like to make them mad so that they'll want to kill the zombies. And then the people who that wanted to run away from the zombies used fear. So they made you feel fear to motivate you to run away from zombies and be better at the game, which sounds like miles and miles away from the conclusion that this study came to. But I feel like, what's the takeaway? Like, what's the right way to handle this with people? And I think it's like, identify what will motivate them and do that. Don't do what makes you feel better because you like to make people feel bad.
Yeah, don't mistake your tough love friend for your bully friend.
But also, don't mistake your bully for your friend.
Yeah.
At the same time, if someone is consistently just berating you, especially if it's over text message or just like throwing shade, might not be your bestie.
Yeah.
Might be Shelby.
All right, so I think we just solved everybody's problems.
Yeah.
And what's with this poof here?
I like it.
All right, guys, thanks for joining us. Candace Carrizales.
Woo!
Woo!
Thank you so much.
She just made out with you guys. And we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.